Welcome to the Coaching Closet. I'm your host, Richele. Have you ever put together an outfit that was just right, making you feel amazing from head to toe? It takes thought, planning, and effort to create that perfect look. In life, it's the same. It's like a unique puzzle with individual pieces that we must pay attention to in order for everything to work together. If something is missing, it's like walking out of the house with no pants on. Are you ready to piece together your puzzle of life? Let's go. Welcome back to the Coaching Closet. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. This is my official thank you to my haters. You know, it's amazing how life brings things full circle. I know I've shared with you guys how I was such a shy child, and I was brought out of that shyness through a series of circumstances in my life. One being having to move around the world, and my mother being really diligent with me about putting me in activities to bring me out. And I was not that happy about that, but now I see how it has been used for my benefit. And I think in life, if we can look at situations and see the positive and how it can be used for our good, that we can always see something good. And so whenever something comes up in my life now, I look and I see, what can I learn from this experience? Whether it is good, bad, I try not to really label it anymore. I just look at it and say, what can I learn from this experience? It just is. It is just an experience. So if you look at life that way, it really does free you so that you don't stress about things. It's just things are out of our control anyway. We can only control ourselves and how we respond. So it really does prevent us from reacting. It prevents a lot of stress. And so that kind of brings me to the topic of when you're trying to live in your passion and pursue a calling, when you're called. And that's what I really know that I'm doing at this point in my life is I am called to my passion of helping others that have been in really trying circumstances. That's why I know I lived through a very toxic relationship that I had to bring myself to exit. I didn't want to do it, but I did it. And I'm helping others really see where they can step into their power. They can step into their purpose, their calling. And I'm living that, and it's not easy. So sometimes people need help. And so I'm a coach now. I help people do that. And when you're stepping into your calling like that, and you're putting yourself out there to show people, to inspire people, the more and more you do that, the more you give people opportunity to put you down, to mock you, to hate on you. I mean, I don't really understand the mentality, but for some reason, there are people out there that do that. And I see it now as an absolute benefit. It's like an obstacle course. When you go through obstacles in life, it's like a course. It's just making you stronger and stronger. And so I see that now as part of, the training, part of having to go through that and getting stronger. And so that's why I'm saying thank you to my haters, because you are part of the obstacle. You're part of the strengthening process. I've had people trample on ideas I've had people straight up like spread rumors about me and say things that were just not true. And it's like, wow, and I won't say things back about them because that's not who I am. So I'm like, I'm not stooping your level, but that's okay. I'm just going to keep going. And it's really fuel to my fire of wanting to do better and wanting to do more for others, because I realize okay, other people are up against this kind of stuff too. They're up against this hateful, cruel world sometimes, so they need help. So thank you to my haters. And it reminded me of a story in the Bible of Joseph, and his brothers were so jealous of him because he was the favored one from his father, and his father made him this gorgeous coat. And just to make a long story really, really short, they ended up selling him into slavery. And then he was made to be really, really prominent in the land that he was sold into in Egypt. And he was really, really powerful. his brothers ended up having to go to him to get food when there was a famine. So he forgave them later on. And it's a long, long story, but it's back in Genesis. But the verse that is Genesis 50:20 is the verse that I want to say. And it says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good. He brought me to this position so I could save the lives of many people." So what I was reminded and what I'm saying now is that he had to go through many trials, but God intended it for his good because he ended up bringing him to a different position. So I went through many trials, but I was brought out of that, found my calling, I found my purpose because of that, because of those trials. And if it wasn't for those, I wouldn't get to the place that I am now. So when people try to put you down, when they seem like an obstacle, if you'll just look at it as a situation, if you'll just look at it as part of your strengthening process and say, what can I learn from this situation? Then it's probably just part of your story, part of your process, and learn something from it and just keep going to the next step, because you're eventually going to get to where you need to be and where maybe your purpose is. And God will bring it all together for your good, where you can be used and possibly save many lives. And that's where I feel like I am now. If we're not in a place where there is more people desperately needing help and desperately needing encouragement and coaching on how to really take charge of their lives and be in a positive mindset, I don't know where we are, because like this last year and a half, couple years has been extremely trying on people. So I feel like I'm exactly where I need to be at the exact right time. And if it wasn't for the timetable that I had to go through, I wouldn't be here at this moment. So be encouraged today. If something is really, really hurting you or seemingly hurting you, just keep going and look for the lesson. Thanks again for joining me today, and see you again on another episode. Thank you for joining me today on the Coaching Closet. My hope is that with each episode, you will discover, like an amazing puzzle, all of the unique pieces in your life fit together to create the beautiful image of you. If you find this podcast to be helpful and would like to share with others, please do me a quick favor and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. This helps to make the podcast more visible. Thanks again for spending your time with me today. Be sure to visit me at coachingcloset.com for past episodes and gifts to help you find your beauty from the inside out.